My question for Professor Griff is mind control and how the New World Order likes to play people off of each other, and also the new technology that actually emerged about 2 to 3 years ago concerning brain gate technology, and how possibly the New World Order is also using that against people, against off each other, and possibly against people in Congress.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, it came out in the 70s. They were using all sorts of mind control projection systems on people in legislators. I mean, it's incredible how far we're down the rat hole on this. Professor Griff?
Yeah, let me ask you something, Alex. What was the name of the movie that came out? I think it was a little documentary film that they had talking about brain fingerprinting. And I think the information went into the fact that if you committed a crime, they were able to take you in, strap you to this machine, and read your brain waves to see whether or not that particular crime is still in your brain.
I forget the name of the movie, but I'm familiar with it. And it's also, you know, they're all... No, Minority Report is pre-crime. This is after...
Paycheck. The movie, Ben Affleck's Paycheck, I believe they...
That's right. They go in and use the laser to erase the memories.
Right.
It's Paycheck.
Right. We have to be very, very careful and not so narrow-minded as to think they have maybe 1 to 2 methods on pushing the whole mind control program on the masses of the people. It's done several different ways. And the way I present it in the psychological covert war on hip-hop is through the vibratory frequencies of music. Is what Stephen Jacobson in his book Mind Control in America talked about when he talked about double speak, when he talked about backward masking. It's done in several different ways. We could sit and watch TV for an hour, come up from off the couch playing Armchair Revolutionary, come up off the couch and not even know that we've been indoctrinated with certain things that fit in the
Oh, listen, I can tell when it's going on. Absolutely. I can tell when something's really programming, and that's why I said watch the Dark Knight series, be connected to shootings. Before, it was all connected to both of them. Before, I said that because I know when I get physically ill, watching trailers and looking, I can tell my brain just knows when it's being programmed, and it's everywhere. Yeah, and then there's overt stuff where they the person that homeschools in every TV show is a terrorist or a racist or a criminal. I mean, there's open brainwashing and demonization, but there's also subliminal programming on record. Let's talk.
So to your caller, Robert, you need to probably just, what me and Alex was talking about off the air, just kind of come off the grid, unplug, get away from all electronics, all right, and just press the reset button. Press the Robert reset button from California.
We all went down, well, I mean, not we all, my son and Rob doing his son and my dad, we all took an RV down with Richard Reeves to Big Bend for 4 days. And the cell phones don't work there. There's no civilization. And I felt like heaven. And it's because there's no frequency pollution.
Right.
Like all I want to do is go back there. I mean, I'm tempted to go move there, but I can't run. Sorry, go ahead.
I was about to say, there's people right now that are listening that know how to align the chakras and cleanse the auric field. And I think that's what a lot of us need sometimes, especially if we're around these electronics all the time. These frequencies are bombarding the brain cells and the auric field.
Well, they admit cell phones actually rattle loose the DNA strands in your cells.
That's deep.
It cuts them in two. You know what? We've got to do 5 more minutes. Can you do 5 more minutes, Griff?
Yes, sir.
All right, Bob. Callers, I'm doing it for you. John's got a question about guns in Chicago. Also, we'll talk to folks in New York, Maryland, and that'll be it. John in Illinois, you want to talk about guns in Chicago. You're on the air. What's your question?
I just have a statement. Do you guys know that in Chicago they're closing the schools and they're forcing gangs into other gang school territories, and that's going to cause school shootings? I should know. I was convicted of a school shooting, taking a gun into school. I was tried in a 50,000-volt shock device of a crime I didn't commit. I was put in the Illinois prison system where they put me in the soy project where they tested the GMO soy on the prisoners.
Oh, yeah, it's killing them, yeah.
Yeah, so...
well, send me a story about what happened to you. I mean, yeah, no, I mean, look at Chicago. They've taken the guns, so only the criminals and government have it, and it's a hellhole. I appreciate your call. Professor Griff, what's your take on that comment?
Well, you know something? I don't think they're ever going to get all of the guns that they think they're going to get out of the hands of the people. The total number of guns that Michael Moore said was now in America. You remember?
There's like, my number's 400 million.
400 million guns. And you're talking about banning a certain particular rifle or clip. It is ridiculous.
Well, bottom line, you notice the government's getting all these extra weapons, but they want mine. I'm telling you now, buy more guns, folks. And we need good people with guns. Davon in New York, you're on the air with Professor Griff. Go ahead.
Yes, I was calling because I was assaulted last week by the NYPD. They assaulted me and arrested me and claimed that I was resisting arrest. And my question was regarding what can we actually do to actually win against the NYPD, because they made a lot of lies on me.
Yeah, the NYPD is just legendarily bad. I've been arrested by them just peacefully protesting, and they were making stuff up. And it's just amazing that is a giant gang of, and they're not all bad, but the system is run by bad people on the top. Professor Griff, what do you do about that?
It's good people in a bad system, but we need to keep in mind that the police are not the power structure. The police are being used by the power structure. And with what we just went through, as far as young black men are concerned with this stop and frisk, is utterly ridiculous. I don't see why good white Americans didn't stand up, because, listen, it's black people today, but who is it tomorrow?
I've actually been stopped and frisked in 2004 at the RNC, walking down the street, and happened to our other guys' show. You're right, they mainly do it to minorities, but now they're doing it exactly. They search cars randomly. It happens to my white friends in New York all the time. They just randomly do whatever they want now.
I tell people all the time, once they come get Professor Griff in the morning, guess who they coming for in the evening?
That's right. Absolutely. That's what Tony Brown always says. What they test in the black community, you better believe is coming to your... People, right. We talked about it before we went on air, how white people and folks think that they're part of the power structure, the Boule, Masonic black leaders. They all think they're part of the power structure. And I'm here to tell you, none of you are part of the power structure. What do you call that when you imagine you're running things when you aren't?
You might call it a tea party, but I'm not sure what you call it in scientific terms.
Elaborate on that, because you've got the Republican version of the Tea Party, and then you've got the Ron Paul version. But yeah, the establishment Tea Party?
No, I'm not talking about the establishment Tea Party. A lot of people, who is this Negro in the Tea Party, who thinks that these people, it's so funny, I can't even get it out, who thinks that these people accept him, and none of what these people are presenting will ever catapult him in the position that he feels he's going to be in. It's a trick. It's the yellow brick road syndrome, I call it. You end up at Oz, and you pull the curtain back, and this character, this little short, fat little character running everything. Who would have thought? So I think they're propping up the Tea Party, they're exacerbating the tensions between black and white for an ultimate racial showdown. They pretend like the bobbleheads and the talking heads pretend like the Democrats are versus the Republicans. They have the gun issue, they have the gay marriage issue, the abortion issue, and we're being force-fed not only the question, but we're being force-fed the answers and the solution.
Well said.
Being controlled by the same people.
Absolutely. That's a good way to end it. I'll say bye to you in the break. Come back with Dr. Steve Pachinik with big breaking news. Professor Griff is been our guest today. pgriff.info. I'm Alex Jones with Infowars.com. Professor Griff, thanks for coming on with us. Visit Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. When you're on the site, you can also tune in 24 hours a day to my daily radio broadcast. There's also a free iPhone app to listen to the syndicated radio show when and where you want.